Yeah, I experienced real challenging times in my teens. I kind of found that I didn't really fit in. I mean, I think I look quite young, but back then I looked ridiculously young. So I wasn't really yes, let's go out and go to all those go out clubbing or going out in from that sort of perspective, because I looked about 5 or 12 or somewhere around there. So there was no way that. So I think I didn't really get to experience that until I was of that kind of age. And of course, a lot of my friends had already experienced all of that. So I think you sort of went out probably a bit crazier than you would in those. But yeah, I suppose I found things quite difficult then when I went off to university, and I'd done really well to be able to get in with that, because I'd struggled. I had to drop a couple of subjects at A level, and then I found what I wanted, and I was really supported to be able to go off to university. But I'd kind of moved in with my first love, and really not a good idea that sort of at that age. And things broke down, and then I was already experiencing some depressional times and things, and I think that really hit me quite hard. I ended up coming back home after not many months of being there, really, and I think all of that kind of, oh my God, what do other people, the kind of the pressures of thinking, and I think it kind of got me quite stuck. But I was realising there was quite a lot of challenges in there. I was then put on courses of antidepressants, which were very helpful, but of course what we didn't know back then was that I had bipolar, and so of course it made me ridiculously happy, and of course I wouldn't go back to the doctors if I was happy, really, and so it ended up bringing on some kind of very manic and hypermanic phases, which in themselves become very difficult to handle, although for yourself you're having quite sort of magical times, really. You feel the world feels very really magical. I laced within some of my things, I had sort of like paranoid tendencies. I was always nervous of what other people might be thinking, or the challenges that I was facing there. I went off to work in Birmingham. I remember I went in working in a school, and I was kind of working as a sort of a support teachery. I was thinking of going into teaching at that time. I had a complete breakdown over there at the school, and within a week I came back, and I was admitted to hospital over in Leicester at the Bradgate unit. I remember going on there, and it was called Bosworth Ward, and I lived in Bosworth, and even more paranoid started off, and it was a very intense time. There was a lot of challenges, really. I ended up being very heavily medicated, and stayed on the wards for a good number of months. I think I was even sectioned at that point. And then when I was released from hospital, the next phase I had was a real sort of manic phase, which I was kind of hospitalised from as well. So whereas before they were thinking I might have some kind of sort of heavy depressional things, or maybe even some kind of schizophrenic things, they were now realising that it was definitely kind of bipolar. And I remember absconding and getting a leg up over the fence and running around Leicester and going through all sorts of challenges. And I remember once I'd got out and thought they're going to be looking for me, and I had pink hair, and I thought, what can I do? So I made my hair blue. Thought they won't find me now. So, but yeah, just but amazing. Like can't really describe the level of the feelings that you know, the intensity and just the levels from both sides. It really is like feeling, you know, completely euphoric. It's like feeling so connected and so almost, you know, you feel at one with everything. But then on the opposite frame, you feel so lost and despair and. But then I feel there's a lot of the bits of the condition where you can gives you focus and there's a lot of bits of it that you can use to your advantage. When I came out of hospital the last time, which was the longest time that I think I was in there, I started to be supported by an organisation in Leicester called CISO, and I'd gone to music college, and I'd been writing and expressing, and that had been just brilliant because it was enabling me to get out a lot of the things that were expression. I look back at a lot of the early work that I've written lyric-wise and realised that, you know, I've seen the kind of sort of growth, I suppose, as time and as you learn and things. So this organisation, CISO, they came on board and they started to equip me with lots of these amazing, empowering tools, things that you could try yourself that could enable you to feel much better. Lots of mindfulness in there, lots of different tools like NLP and EFT, and all different things that you could try yourself and that could empower you to feel a lot better. And I suppose I'd just gone really onto a journey. I was turned on to sort of a lot of the different texts. I've been reading some of Eckhart Tolle and I suppose Wayne Dyer and going down all that sort of route, and it was really helping me to realise the trappings of the thinking mind, essentially, and how the mind was really, you know, this personalised stories that we create about ourselves are really things that we are literally just watching, really, and that behind that is such an expanse. And when I learned to tap into that, and I learned to meditate, and I learned to be able to focus, it gave me this amazing amount of space. And the mind doesn't want to let go. It keeps chattering away, and it's trying to get you attached to the thoughts again. It's always trying to bring you back into it. But I found that through kind of constant practice on that, I found that I could get space between those thoughts, and then finally I could start to, you know, have periods of non-thinking, and then I could focus my thoughts. You see, what I realised was all these tools and these little tips and things and these little techniques they're so simple. They're not complex. If it's complex, it doesn't work generally. But yeah, I think that it's so important that we focus on the things that can help us to, whatever that may be. I love being out in nature and just having a wander round, but you know whatever it is, it kind of then it gives you that bit of energy to feel that bit better, and then you can approach it.